But I no puedo dejar de fingir lo más.
Hello and welcome back to Ross Meets. Oh my god, it feels like it's been so long since we've had an episode, since we've had an interview. We've just finished up with Amber T, and yeah, what a great interview. I look back on that. It's so good, so good. It deserved that re-release. So I'm really glad that's a nice little interlude for what we're about to go into now. Because this episode we've got Dalia, and this was like one of the most, like, literally I was so excited for this interview. Like, I can't even tell you, because I don't know who found who. I can't really remember, but we reached out to each other on Instagram. And as soon as I found Dalia, as soon as I went through a page, I was like, okay, this is absolutely just brilliant. She's got some really great stuff going on. And then she dropped 11:11, and she dropped the 11:11 video. And I was like, whoa, like, I need to get in touch. I need to, be chatting to her, because she has got it going on. And I was just straight in there. And honestly, I'm so glad we did the interview. And I'm so glad we got to speak about all of her experiences, because she's such an interesting person. And I say that for a lot of people that, feature on this podcast, on the interviews. I say that for a lot of people. But with Dalia, it's kind of like a different story. Do you know what I mean? Like, she's, moved to London. She's a uni student. She's learning her craft. She's studying. She's working so hard. And it's so good to see someone who's in that vibe. Bit like Cormac, when we interviewed Cormac. In that vibe, working, but still so creative. And still, they completely know who they are. And they're just going for it. And that is just so good to see. That is the vibe that we're looking for. That is what we want to be seeing, through these interviews. And Dalia has got that in spade loads. Like the videos, the promotions, the photography. When I was making the promotion for the interview and going through, like, the photos, everything is just so professional and so accessible. There's just so much to work with. I think I mentioned it in the interview, how, like, there is literally just so much stuff for someone like me who really wants to explore that art, to work with and to really delve into. So that's always brilliant when an artist has got that going on, and Dalia has got that going on. And also I do have to preface this interview, though, there's no visual. Now there's a reason for no visual, and that is because it was so early. And I say it was so early, but we're uni students, you know what I mean? We're nailed, like, all the time, and I get the vibe. I completely get it. When she said, there's not going to be any camera on today, I'm frazzled, I was like, Dalia, trust me, I get it. I completely understand it. Don't worry. So yeah, apologies for that. But honestly, I mean, I look like a car wreck that day. I was tired. That was early. We should have done that later. But it's still such a great interview, great audio, and yeah, she just sounds brilliant. So yeah, expect it on YouTube as well, because it's a great interview. So insightful, so interesting, as always, and yeah. So much exciting stuff going on for Dalia as well in the future. We've got the new EP coming, and when that gets going, I think she's really going to take off, and she's really going to reap the seeds that she's sown, because yeah, she deserves it more than anything, and she should be so proud of how much she's accomplished, for being so young. And I feel like all that hard work is really going to pay off now, and I'm going to sit there, I'm going to really love it for her. So yeah, and I hope you really enjoy listening to this interview, because this interview is fab. It's brilliant. I'm very proud of it. And yeah, enjoy. Oh, how are you, Dalia? Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm so good.
Good. Yeah, it's so nice to chat. It is so nice to chat. It's very early. I didn't realise how early we were putting it. And I'm just like, I'm not a morning person at all. I'm like the worst morning person that you'll ever encounter. And yeah, I'm just having a bit of one of them mornings, you know what I mean? Let's get started then. Let's get into the groove. I just wanted to find a little bit more about you, because you've got so much good stuff going on right now, with all the music that you've been releasing and the whole vibe that you're creating. It's literally been so good. but yeah, there's not a lot about you out there to really kind of like see. How was everything, getting into the industry and being here in London, and moving from Spain? How was that for you? How did you find everything with that? When did you move over?
Right. So I studied songwriting and performance in Liverpool in
Yeah.
uni. For like I moved to the UK when I was 18 for uni, and then I graduated last year when I turned 22, and then I moved to London straight from Liverpool. And yeah, I hadn't really released anything yet ever. I had just been writing all my life, really. I've been writing since I was like 8 years old, playing piano, singing. It's just always been like I've always known that's what I wanted to do. So I've just been kind of waiting for the right moment. I used to be like very shy as well with my music. I wouldn't really show anyone or like post it anywhere. And then in uni, I just got more comfortable being kind of like creatively open. And then I just started like posting my songs on Instagram, just like very low key. And then when I started getting like feedback from my songs, I got my confidence. And then I finally decided to kind of record my music with like some producers that I met. And finally I started like releasing this year, which has been so exciting. Yeah. Do you like have any questions about that? Because I'm really bad at explaining myself, I feel like.
Oh no, no, that was great. That was literally so, so good. And it is like you say, we had Stone Cold on SoundCloud, which was a brilliant, really, really strong start, a really good reflection of, those kind of early years
Right.
like you've just mentioned, right? And then, we're straight in with like Pink Clouds onwards through to 1111. And the difference in like terms of like the promotion, like the artwork and the creativity, everything, the jump, especially when you're such a young artist and so early on in your career, is absolutely immeasurable. It's so, so
Oh,
good.
thank you.
It really, really is. It's so, so good. And yeah, I've got a lot to ask about with that. And you said about the songwriting, and I'm getting the impression it really comes naturally to you. And I was gonna say, I don't know whether it's a kind of intrusion of the art, but they are very kind of like, I don't know, like sad. They're kind of sad
Yeah.
songs. I'm in
Yeah.
my sad girl era when I'm listening to them. You know what I mean? Like I'm feeling it. But like, is that something that you're taking from kind of like past experience, or is that kind of just being creative?
So for me, writing is um it's not like I don't know really how to explain it because it sounds a bit weird when I say this, but it's not something that I do for fun, if that makes sense. Like for me, writing is something that I feel like I need to do to kind of release my emotions and deal with my emotions. So often like when I'm going through something or when I feel a certain way, I just feel I have this like feeling in my stomach. I just need to write because it just helps me release and like process. So a lot of the times my songs are sad because I don't feel that way when I'm happy, if that makes sense. Like I don't get that feeling when I'm happy. And yeah, it's not like yeah, it sounds weird, but it's just something that I don't do when I'm happy because I don't necessarily find it fun, you know? Writing a song
Yeah.
for me is kind of cathartic and um I'm often like crying sometimes when I'm writing. So yeah, does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean that makes perfect sense. And do you find it comes out kind of like the same way with like the music videos and stuff like that? Because we've got the 1111 music video, and there's so much going on there. Do you find that coming out in like the same way, if you get what I mean, like those kind of emotions, or is that more kind of, I don't know, more a bit more like enjoyable?
I think it's more enjoyable, definitely. I'm pretty new with music videos. I only started doing them with my first single, Nothing But Pain. And with the first one, it was kind of like getting into the world of visually bringing your songs to life and how to symbolize them. So I still wanted to stay true to how I felt at the time because these are songs that I wrote like years ago, like 3 years ago. So I had to like get in tune with my past self, and like, if that makes sense, and like get in her head and like symbolize the things that I was feeling at the time through visuals that I was getting in my head. I honestly go a lot on Pinterest for these things. I get most of my inspiration from my music videos from there. But the process of like filming for me is way more fun. I feel like, yeah, I'm laughing half of the time because I find it pretty awkward. And but I like the music videos. If you see them, they still have like visuals that are pretty like sad or like weird or like represent kind of dark things about the things that I was feeling. So yeah.
Yeah, and it all matches the vibe. I mean, going back to kind of like the kind of promotion kind of side and that creative side, there's so much going on there, and there's so much really powerful stuff. Kind of more simpler ideas, being translated onto the screen that are they just look so good and they just burst off the screen. I don't think I've seen an artist so early on, in their career that has such a strong kind of promotional side. Do you know what I mean? Because oftentimes when I do
Oh,
these
totally.
interviews, it's really difficult to find, I don't know, what the artist is about. Do you know what I mean? And it's really
Yeah.
hard to kind of like, you look at their photos and you look at what they've done, and sometimes it's really hard to, find and go through. But with you, there was just so much to
Oh,
work
thank
with. Do
you.
you know what I mean? Like it just
Yeah,
looked
thank you.
so, so good. And I was like, this is an artist that is really, really, clued in and really, really knows
Yeah.
what she wants straight out the door. Do you know what I mean? And that's
Thank you
so
so
good.
much.
That is
I
so,
think
so good.
I think the reason why I didn't release in so long, even though I've been doing music all my life, is because I didn't really know who I was as an artist. I mean, I didn't know who I was to start off with, and even less as an artist. I wasn't sure of how I wanted to present myself, what I wanted to transmit, how I wanted to come across, if that makes sense. And it took me a while to kind of get everything together. And once I got an idea of like who I was as an artist, I started getting kind of like inspired in like in what colors I wanted to wear, what I wanted to transmit, how I was going to transmit it, and then started releasing my music then. So I definitely had to wait for a long time to figure it out.
Yeah, and it really does translate over that. It doesn't look like a newcomer's work. It looks like, as you say, you've been doing it, forever. It really looks like someone who's really seasoned. And I
Oh, that
suppose
means
like
a lot.
I
Thank you.
suppose uni's helped as well, and and
Yeah,
kind of guide you through that. And it's really good for you to have that experience
yeah.
and have gone through that. How have you found the industry here? Because obviously, it must be a totally different, vibe and space to Spain and what's going on over there. How have you found it? Has it been easier? Has it been weird? Has it been hard? Has it been difficult? Because I can't imagine, I can't imagine, moving somewhere else. It would terrify the hell out of me. And that's just me. But how's it been for
I
you?
mean, I wasn't really in the industry in Spain at all because I literally come from the most like random, isolated place ever. Like, there's no such thing as industry where I live, which is nothing bad. Like, I did love where I grew up. It's beautiful. It's like where you would go to kind of have some vacation, like summer vacation. It's like next to the sea. It's people live slowly and calmly, and it's beautiful. But I definitely, if I wanted to pursue music, I always knew I had to get out of there. Especially like I think Spain in general. Like I could have moved to Madrid, which is the capital, but the vibe is just very different. I think it's a bit more close minded. If I'm like if Yeah, I think the UK in general has more openness and open mindedness and more creativity amongst artists to be themselves and be free and open. So I think moving to the UK in general was like a cultural shock. Not a cultural shock. No, no, no. That's like very extreme. But like it's very different, obviously, to the lifestyle in Spain. But I have learned. I am super, super grateful that I had the opportunity to move to the UK. And to be honest, growing up in Spain, I always felt it's gonna sound so like cliche, but I always felt like a bit out of how do you say it? Out of place?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like I always knew it's not really the vibe or the culture that I was kind of seeking, because I wanted to be an artist. And yeah, I just always knew I needed to get out of there. And since I was little, I always wanted to move to London. It's always been like my goal. And like being here finally, I've met so many people, also randomly, like not even like seeking for it sometimes, like oh, like honestly so random sometimes, like just going to events or like I don't know, open mics or even through Instagram. That's how I met my band here. And networking has been like amazing because like being able to work with people who are just as passionate as music as you are is like it's just like such a fulfilling like feeling. And honestly, I think it's been like an amazing experience so far. Obviously, there's a lot of factors that are hard about being an artist in London. But, like I have a lot of support and I'm surrounded by so many good people. I don't think I'm not leaving anytime soon at all. Like I love it here.
That is so good to hear. That's brilliant to hear. But it is so hard and it is really, really, really difficult, But I suppose it's what an artist would do. Do you know what I mean? Like a true artist would do that and really kind of, sacrifice what they know already,
Yeah, yeah.
kind of, you know, really grow themselves and kind of like come into their own. And we can really appreciate that. That is just,
Thank you.
really amazing to hear. And in term, still talking about the industry, what
Hmm.
have you thought about this side? Randos like me, trying, really picking your brains and, really trying to, figure out kind of the decisions that you've made. How's it been? Do you enjoy talking about, the decisions and the music and all this
Uh-huh.
kind of stuff? Or have you found it again a bit like difficult, a bit weird? Because you never know who you're gonna get on the end of the call, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
a hard one.
So I started doing interviews. So I started just doing like getting my music recognized in Spain like this summer, like super fresh. And I started my first ever interview was in Spain with some radio stations. And then from there I started getting more calls to do more interviews. And I have found this is I think my second interview in English or maybe third. And I do find it much easier expressing myself in English than I do in Spanish. So when I was talking in Spanish, and like after the interview, my friends would like listen to the interviews with me. They like we would all look at each other like, what am I saying? Like I can't express myself. I sound bored because I'm trying to like stay calm and talk slowly so I don't like mess it up. Like I express myself so much better in English, and it's funny. It's like pretty ironic, but it's true. Like I've always known that. So I do enjoy talking about the process, and like I think I learned so much about myself as well when I talk about it because it's not something necessarily that I ask myself. Um, and yeah, it's like so like nice to see how like people think about it and how they process it and what questions they have. But I do enjoy the process definitely. But I think I much rather have interviews in English than in Spanish. But I appreciate those in Spain as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know whether it's like a language or like a culture thing. I'm not too sure. Like my best friend Agnes, she moved from Poland here and she would say the exact same thing
Mm-hmm.
about like talking because she wouldn't, even though she was there like her whole life, I don't think she'd be able now to be able to kind of like vocalize that like emotion through
Yeah.
Polish, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? I don't know
exactly.
whether
Yeah.
it's like I don't know whether
Yeah.
it's like a distance or a time thing or just like a culture kind of like I don't know. Again, it's like a bit extreme, but like a culture shock thing. I don't know, but
Yeah. I don't know. It's because I did go to a European school in Spain where my first language was English. So most of my classes were in English, and then it's more like a language school. So I learned like German and French and all of that. And Spanish was my last language because they assumed because we lived there, like it didn't have to be as kind of like prominent in our lessons. But I think I know I'm way better at English than I am Spanish, like writing, talking, reading. Like But obviously I still understand everything in Spanish and I'm fluent and everything, but just like clever words, like I know more in English, if that makes sense, you
Yeah.
know?
Oh no, it makes total sense. It
Yeah.
really does.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
unless you kind of like know someone in that position, I suppose it sounds a little bit weird. I don't know whether, people listen to this and think, oh, that's a little bit weird. But, I
Yeah.
know someone who's kind of in the same boat, and it's the same for her. I don't know what it is, but yeah, I mean, I did French at school. If I had to, if I went to move to France, I'd be doomed.
Exactly.
I'd be absolutely doomed. I wouldn't be able to do it. No, it just would not be me. But but yeah, it's just you should really, really be proud of where you are in the
Oh,
position
thank
you're in,
you.
and how much you've achieved, because you have done so much in such a short period of time. And as you said with the networking, you met your band here. How has been kind of like performing live? Have you enjoyed that? Has that been something that has been beneficial to you? Has it been a bit difficult? How's it been?
So I absolutely love performing. I actually used to be so, 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 so shy. Like I used to have stage fright. I used to make my singing teacher like turn around in class because I was so shy. And in uni, obviously, they force you to get out of your shell and step out of your comfort zone. Like you have no choice, which I'm super grateful for. And I started kind of like performing in Liverpool a bit, but like like very, very little, like just a few gigs in the last year with my band. And I started like getting the vibe that, I could do it, but I was just a bit shy. And when I moved to London, I obviously knew that I had to like get myself out there, and I wanted to get a band together. I put it on Instagram that I was looking for people, and I just casually followed this guy who like is a musician in London, and he busks and he plays piano, and he told me that he likes my music and he's down. So, and he knew my guitarist. He like advised to contact my guitarist and like ask him, and then we all got together and it just worked so well. Like we all get on really, really well. Like I feel like I've known them for years. Like it's crazy. And we started gigging together, and the first few gigs I was a bit I was like doing it, and I loved it, but I was a bit shy still, like not fully myself. And then because I've been doing it so regularly since May, like honestly, like 3 times or like 4 times or maybe 5 times a month or something, like super super like a lot. I like completely started being myself, and like now I know how it is to be myself when I'm an artist, like if that makes sense. Because a lot of the time when in uni, when they like give you advice for like performing, they just tell you to be yourself. And I used to be like, I just don't know what that is though. Like I don't know what it is to be myself when I'm performing, because I'm so like hyper aware of like my audience. But now I know exactly what they mean. Like I'm just myself, and like even when I talk, I'm myself. I'm not really like analyzing or like stressing at all. Like I'm super comfortable. I'm not anxious, which is such like a crazy rewarding feeling, because I didn't think I was ever gonna feel like that performing. And I love it. Like I completely love getting into like my feels and performing and just being myself and seeing the audience receive it. Like it's such like a beautiful feeling when people connect to my music live, because I see it in their eyes and I see how they feel, and it's just so beautiful. I love it. Like I want to do this forever.
That is so good to hear. That is so, so good. Honestly, it is. And, I'm not just saying it because a lot of people think that I just say these things to just, I don't know, and I just kind of like pick these artists just for the sake of picking them. That is not the case. All the artists I picked to interview, I picked because I
Oh,
can see that they've got something. Do you know what I mean? They've got something that
yeah.
nobody else has. They're gonna be special and they're doing brilliant stuff, or they might have brilliant stuff coming in the future. And
Thank you.
you are one of those people. I don't know where I think I found you on Instagram or you found me. I'm not too sure. But
I'm not too sure either,
I'm
actually.
really grateful that you came my
Yeah,
way
me
and that you
too.
were
Thank
there,
you.
because honestly, as I said earlier, I don't think I've ever seen someone with such a strong, start, at least, kind of like professionally. Obviously, you've been through so much, kind of behind the scenes and, a bit earlier on, but you really, really do have something, and you really, really are
Oh,
talented. And I'm
thank
so glad that
you.
you've said that, because you've really had chance to, come out of your shell now and really be brave and get your voice out there, which is just so good because there's
Oh, thank
many
you.
people out there that are going to relate to it and really, really enjoy it and, relate to the lyricism, if that's the word,
Mm-hmm.
with
Yeah.
lyricism. It's very early in the morning, but, what's next? What are the next steps? Are we building up to an EP or an album? Are we going to have a few more singles? What's next? Are we staying in the kind of the same vibe as the past three singles?
Right. So the three singles that I've released so far are part of my debut EP, which is coming out like super soon, called Every Beginning Ends. And then from that EP, there's one more song that's coming out. But I'm already working, like I've already written my second EP. I already know the title. I already have the artwork. Like I just had the photos done, like taken. Um, so it's all in the works. The only thing that I have to do still is record and produce the songs, but I'm already working with my friend who's a producer from uni, who's really really talented. He's sick, and yeah, we're kind of recording the next songs coming up for the second EP. So yeah, that's what's like really next, and obviously trying to get more bigger gigs and bigger festivals hopefully for next year. And just keep networking. Right now, I'm also trying to see if I can get an internship for a record label, just for networking. Like, obviously, I'm not like trying to be like an A&R or anything like that. It's honestly just for like a networking and experience and just getting into the world of music. So yeah, that's what's next. Really, just keep doing what I'm doing.
That's such good stuff. That is so like exciting. Like you said, there's so much stuff coming, so much good stuff for people
Yeah.
to get excited for. And just going on, the previous three singles we've had, I'm really excited for the next one because everything just looks so great. I know I keep saying it, I'm like a broken record, but honestly, I can't stress it enough, Dalia. Like it's so good.
Thank you.
So good. It is also brilliant. And
It's just
kind
gonna
of
get sadder, by the way.
oh oh, see, that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing at all. That isn't a bad thing because it eases you into the day or eases you out of the day. I love it. I love it. Honestly, they've been so good. They don't need to be they don't need to be happy. They don't need to be happy. But
Good, I know.
they're so good. They are so
Thank
good.
you.
I'm glad that
Thank
you
you
said
so
it
much.
wasn't personal experience as well necessarily. I'm glad you kind of just said it was just emotions. That
Oh,
that relieved me
oh
because
no, no, it definitely is personal experience.
oh oh no. Oh no, that's not good.
Yeah.
That changes things a bit. That's not good. That's not good. Oh, darling, I hate that you. No, I hate that. I didn't want to think like that. I
Oh
didn't
no,
want to
it's
think like
completely
that.
fine. Like, it's honestly like, my the three singles that I released so far, I wrote during the one of like probably one of the worst periods of my life. But right
Oh,
now I'm so happy and I'm doing so well. And the second
good.
EP, I wrote more about past experiences. Like I'm able to get, because obviously we all still process our past and think about past experiences. So I'm still in my feels and I still get the urge to talk about my past, if that makes sense. But I'm not necessarily going through it right now. You know?
That's good. I was
Yeah.
hoping, I was hoping it's just kind of emotions and feelings and not something that actually happened. But to hear that is not good. But look at all the good stuff that's come out of it though, right?
Exactly.
Because
Yeah.
if it didn't happen, then we wouldn't have, I don't know, we
Exactly.
wouldn't have the music
Exactly.
the way it is. It would be different
Exactly.
in some way, and we don't want it to be different in some way because it's done
Yeah.
so well. So I
Thank
suppose
you.
it's a good thing. But
Yeah.
still,
I
I
always
don't know.
say
Yeah, it's
I
still
always
not
say
good.
everything happens for a reason.
Yeah,
Um, I'm a strong believer of that. So yeah, I'm happy about where I am, and I'm grateful for everything that's happened and made me who I am today.
brilliant. And this is my final question now, darling, because as I say, it's so it's not that early in the morning, but for us, it's early in the morning. We're uni students. We've just done uni. It's early in the morning. What would you say is your proudest moment so far? Because obviously,
Oh, I
so
love that.
much.
I love that question. That is such a cute way to like start my day. Proudest moment so far. Um, I mean, I think being able to release my first EP, like the fact that I'm doing it, and I think the whole project in itself, like releasing something that is just completely mine and that I've thought about myself, like just by myself, like all the visuals, all the creative ideas, all the promotion, like when I really deep it and I think like how like I just came up with it by myself and all the songs are just mine about my experiences. I think my like I can imagine my younger self, like my 6-year-old self, just freaking out because that's all I've ever wanted to do. Really, like I would like honestly fantasize about this, like when I was 8 years old, about how what my first CD was going to be called and how it would look, and I thought it was going to be like about lions because I was obsessed with the Lion King, and I thought all my songs were gonna be about animals and just random things. Like I just know like it's like I just would be so happy and proud of myself. So I think I maybe it's a boring question, like I don't know, but I think my first project, my first EP is the proudest thing. Yeah,
Oh,
I'm proud of
Dalia, that is so nice to hear. And
it.
I'm just honestly, I'm so hype and I'm so excited sitting here for everything to come out, and I'm really excited to sit here and watch you grow as well, because you
Thank
will
you.
grow. And you've had such a strong start, and I know I keep saying it, but you've had such a strong start,
Thank
and
you.
there's only good things to come. And I really,
Oh,
really
thank
hope you get the
you.
internship. I hope everything goes well with that.
Thank
Um,
you so much.
Super hype for the next EP. Well,
Of
the next
course.
two EPs, I suppose we should say, because we've still got the
Yeah,
single and then another EP, which is just
exactly.
brilliant to hear. And yeah, just thank you so much for coming along and having a chat. Like I say, it's very early for us, past students. We're very not in the vibe,
Thank
but
you.
yeah, it's been
Thank
so
you
great
so,
having
so
you.
much. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
having me and for all the kind words. It's a beautiful way to start my day, even though it's early. I really, really appreciate everything you said, honestly, from the bottom of my heart. Like, I really appreciate it. And yeah, if there's a next time, I will have my camera on, I promise.
Oh
I feel
yes,
like I
that's all
honestly look
good.
crazy.
Honestly, no, don't worry, Dalia. I half considered not putting mine on because I look like I haven't slept in days. So yeah, I was in the same vibe. I was in the same boat. So yeah, no, it's all good. Honestly, it's totally fine. But
Thank
yeah, I'm
you.
hoping there will be a next time. We've got to talk about the next EPs. We've got to,
100%.
because there's going to be
I'd
so
love
much
to.
going on. But
I'm
yeah,
down.